T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world. Welcome to All in the Tree Tuesdays, episode 508. Got Carly from coastal Morelia in the building tonight. What is good, everyone? I'm your boy MJ. If this is your first time hanging out here tonight, if you're into keeping reptiles, do me a favor, smash that like button and then hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, select all. You'll be reminded of every piece of content released here under Trap Talk Reptile Network. You can listen to any Trap Talk Reptile Network podcast on all the major audio platforms, Buzzsprout, Spotify. Did I say Spotify? Yeah, I did. Anyways, wherever you listen to Trap Talk Reptile Network, thank you so much. Really means a lot. Shout out to all the early birds. If you're looking for exclusive content, you want to get more behind the scenes, get invited to sick-ass private events like Trap Fest, then do me a favor, click the very first link in the description below and join the Trap Talk Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you get a link to a Discord that taps you with over 200 amazing reptile keepers. There's an awesome Instagram group chat that's cracking. Hey, listen, Patreon members, I love you guys. You guys know how I feel about all of you guys. And thank you so much for rocking with me. The family's growing. And yeah, I cannot wait. It's going to be an epic time. I'm very thankful for tonight's sponsor, which is the Reptile Super Show, aka LA Pet Fair, happening the week of Trap Fest. So that's going to be June 29th and 30th at the Pomona Fairgrounds. So you got 3 shows in one, in a sense. You have the reptiles, you have the aquarium, which is the aquatics, okay, and then of course you have a bird. You have a bird show, and then there's gonna be plants and stuff outside. So in a sense, 4 shows in one, but this is gonna be one for the books. Shout out to Rami for putting on such an epic event. And again, it's going down June 29th through the 30th. All right, this is for the first time in history. This is gonna be huge. Okay, shout out to Rami, the entire Reptile Super Show crew. It's going to be going down. I'll be vending there as well. Be many heavy hitters flying in for this event, so it's going to be epic. All right. Also, want to say shout out to tonight's sponsor, which is Brian Susan from SUNDOWN Reptiles. If you want to get tapped into the real deal side of the tree monitors and get the high quality USCBB homegrown tree monitor species at your doorstep and start working with an amazing project, this is your guy to go to. Get your tree monitors from Brian Susan from SUNDOWN Reptiles. Also has amazing high-end geckos, Abronia. Okay, gargoyle geckos. Like, dude, this was so tapped in. And of course, I'm going to keep saying the whole entire year, please go watch this guy's vlog that I put out on my other YouTube channel, the Trap Reptile Vlogs. It really kind of gives you a better insight on what this man's working with and how real deal he is. Like, I'm telling you, the guy's dialed in. Also, tonight's brought to you by the #1 quail in the game. Also brought to your doorstep, Blake Exotic Feeders out of Florida. This man breeds and raises all his own quail himself. No third party, none of that crap. All right. This is organically grown quail. All right. That can go straight to your doorstep. I finally got some of his button quail, which really hard to find. No one really has button quail out there. I'm just saying. All right. And that's crucial. So listen, Blake Exotic Feeders on Instagram, hit him up, go to his website as well. I would personally just go straight to his IG, send him a DM and work with him. And I'm telling you right now, he's taking care of all the trappers. So again, Blake Exotic Feeders, amazing quail. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also tonight, brought to you by Mark Hager from Texas Chondros, one of the best out of Texas, and he puts Texas on any chance he gets. That's a fact. If you're into reds, into yellows, period, Chondros, period, this is your man, Mark Hager, Texas Chondros. Head over to his Instagram, give him a follow, TX Chondros. Head over to his website, see what's available. Check out his wait list, all the above. Shout out to Mark Hager, Texas Chondros, and last but not least, what you see in my PVC enclosures built by Focus Cube. The Reptile Perch, PVC purchase for all my arboreal snakes, my chondros, my emeralds. I think any arboreal snake will benefit. Purchase from the Reptile Perch, designed by David Brahms. Also has amazing availability as far as chondros goes. He has had quite the success this year. All right. I don't want to give you too much details, but check out the episode we just had with him a few weeks back. And that's David Brahms, the Reptile Perch. You can find all the information to my sponsors in the description below. All right, and coming from below, Bill Stiegel, the mayor of Condro Town, in what room?
the master suite, or
that's baller.
I was kicked out of my entire house. This is the only place I have refuge. Kind of like on the basement.
Those are the doors that go out to the back patio where your pool's at.
That's correct.
Oh my God! All right. Well, listen. How you doing, Bill? Good to have you, bud.
I'm doing good. Texas is summer is definitely here in Texas, but I hear that you have a big baller coming to Trap Fest, and I'm not talking about Marshall.
Yeah, I mean, why are you laughing, Marshall? I thought he was talking about you.
Oh, no.
Bill, are you gonna spill the beans and tell people who it is?
I wouldn't ruin your thunder, man.
I thought you would, because you would though. You would.
I would only pay back you.
That's true. Yeah, you do keep count, don't you?
I do. Oh, right now, I'm down one.
Okay. Marshall, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How's it going?
How's it going, man?
Going good. It's hot here too. Hot as fuck. 100 degrees the other day.
Oh man, that means it's coming here soon. That's for sure. We're about to get hit. Normally, what happens with you guys comes like to us maybe a month or so right after. But yeah, you're doing. Is your room doing all right, Marshall?
Yeah, it's summertime. 80, 81 during the day, without hardly having to run any heat. And then it's not cooling down super. It's getting in the high 70s at night. It'll be like this until October. Yeah. So,
Bill, what's going on with you? Is it pretty extreme? Or you're not in the peak of your summer, not yet, right?
No, we're about a month away from that.
Okay.
So we're getting mid 90s right now consistently during the day, and then 80s at night. But so yeah, we're a month away. I'm pretty much done. Shipping's over. Can't ship stuff out. Was talking to a guy in South Texas who's getting a green tree from the freight train outbreak clutch, and he wants it like yesterday.
Well, I'm sure.
And I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to drive up here and get it then, because it's not going on the airplane.
Yeah.
No way.
Damn. Yeah. Better wait.
Yeah. Till September, October. That's what I told him.
Yeah. So you're done breeding for the year, right, Bill? There's nothing paired at this point, or
that's right. Yeah, I'm done. Alex and I ultrasounded a female a couple 2-3 weeks ago who we thought might be on the kind of the verge of the outside of the season, but she just had small follicles. So we're gonna pack it in and enjoy kind of a light summer for us this year, which is great. He's got one clutch in the cooker, an Aru to an Aru. All mine are hatched. I've got 26 babies. They're all established. So now we're just coasting.
That's cool. And, obviously update real quick, Marshall, on the albino. Everything's going good, and that clutch is great and everything else?
Yeah. Yeah, everything's peachy. Albino's looking good. He's kind of getting up in size with siblings, and they're all feeding immediately now. And going into some of them, their third shed. And I think he'll probably she'll whatever. We'll go to the second shed pretty soon.
So Marshall, how many meals would you say they've had about at this point? You would say off the top of your head, if you could think.
Maybe pushing 10.
Okay. And they're still on pinks, or have you bumped it up yet?
No, I bumped it up to like large pinks. They're not quite ready for a fuzzy yet. But
not quite ready for a button quail.
No, not quite ready for a button quail or a fuzzy yet. I do need to look at getting some ASF fuzzies or pinks. You have to have some hair on them. I'd like to try those out.
I'm telling you, I'm feeding pinks to my smallest hatchlings, ASF pinks, and they got fuzz on them. So if you think that's important, I would get some.
And then fuzzies, I'm sure. Obviously fuzzies and hoppers. What hoppers will be fully furred?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I can't recall. We had someone acting like a little girl, but we've not had an actual female on the show yet, as far as to talk about chondros. And I'm so excited because she's a real deal, man. Like I've come across her account, I want to say at least a couple months ago, and just kind of we've gone back and forth, and we have the same interests and have the same taste in these high-end chondros and emeralds as well, man. But do you guys know anything about the homegirl Carly? What do you guys know about Carly?
Yeah, I know. I've known her for a little while, through Facebook. I don't think we've ever met in person, but she did like a run of stickers a couple of years ago, maybe like some Chondro stickers. Did like a blue one and some, I don't know, maybe I don't know what she did a couple and got some of those from her, and she hit me up a couple maybe a few weeks ago, I think, just to talk about Amazon tree boas. So yeah, I was checking out her Instagram. Looks like she's had some success here lately, hatching babies. So looking forward to talking to her. Yeah, this is definitely the first female guest for Tuesday.
Yep.
I'll tell you one thing. We're going to meet her in Daytona in August.
Oh, dope. I don't think she told me that yet, but that's awesome. I'll be there for sure. Awesome. Marshall's no longer going to Daytona. He fucking threw that in the air and fucking shot it down.
It's a good thought, but it wasn't going to work out.
Happened.
It's all good. I have no shit to give Marshall whatsoever because he's coming to Trap Fest. So I
know it's coming. It's coming up soon too. Like almost here.
Yeah. Much respect.
But listen, enough is enough. I want to bring Carly on. I have so many questions for her, as I'm sure you guys do too. There's mad people in the live chats tonight here to show her support. So shout out to everyone here tonight, man. It's your it's that game time. Are you guys cool? You guys ready to bring Carly in or what?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm excited. Let's do this, guys. It's that time to do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. Episode 508. Carly, Coastal Morelia, coming at you right now. Let's go.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes. Exclusive.
Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, God love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it.
And we're live, episode 508. Carly, Coastal Morelia. What's up, homegirl?
Hey.
Hey, Carly.
Welcome.
How y'all doing?
First female to All in the Tree Tuesday. All right.
Yay.
Good to have you.
How's it going?
Don't let Marshall intimidate you, Carly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's worried about that.
I know he was a bucket list, one of your bucket lists. So yeah, you've met Marshall Mendez now.
Oh,
Yep.
I feel honored.
Hey, I forgot to mention, since Marshall said something about the stickers, dude, she sent me this shirt and a sick ass stuffed animal that Leo took right away. So I do want to say,
Nice.
Put it on the big screen. I can't see it that well.
it's there. Look at that. There's a bunch of different reptiles on it and stuff.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, it's fucking epic. And Carly, so is that what you were known for from the get-go? Was just kind of letting people know you could make cool stickers, or were you doing the animals first, as far as like, everything that you have behind you and whatnot?
I mean, honestly, I was doing the animals first. I very briefly went to art school. Was not for me at all. And I've kind of tossed back the idea of doing some like biological illustrations and stuff like that as far as career path goes. But I literally, just for fun, just because I want to, started doing the stickers and the logos and the shirts and stuff like that. And then I picked up the crochet stuff because I was bored out of my mind after having my son.
I mean, that's a cool little flex to have, to be honest. I mean, my son loves it. But
So are you drawing the stickers or designing them on the computer or what?
No, yeah, they're hand drawn on Procreate on just using an iPad or using a little pencil.
Okay, nice.
Dang,
So,
epic.
That's awesome.
it's
Well,
just for fun. It's just something to just pass the time.
And you know, when we started talking, Carly, after we met, you know, you were building that wall behind you, and I got to say, you know, it's finished as you wanted it. There's 3 levels or 4 levels.
There's actually
Right.
it keeps
Oh
going.
wow.
Yeah, it keeps
Oh,
going.
It's a wall,
Got a
dude.
step stool for the top levels.
Nice.
So let's, you know,
And
go ahead.
All chondros in there?
There's all chondros in there right now. I'm working on there's a 4-foot down on the bottom here that I'm working for a northern. And then a lot of these cages are actually empty. So like most of the ones up top, and then some of the larger ones are still empty. There's no snakes to go in there, which needs to change, but
Yeah,
You got babies, so it'll change.
I do
It'll
have
change fairly
babies.
soon.
yeah, I do
Yeah.
have babies. It'll be a very long time before they are in there though.
Any
Right, at least
chondros going in there?
No, I don't have any.
No.
I need some, but I don't have any.
Bill, are
You
you
picked
gonna?
up one. Bill, you picked up one recently that
Yeah.
is really, really interesting looking.
Yeah, it's wicked. It's a 75%. I've had those before, so I know what they turn into. And
Did you produce that one, or was that produced? Somebody else did that.
No, somebody else did that. A friend of a friend told me that there was one at Tinley, and so that's how I ended up getting it.
Well, it looks.
It's
looks badass. I love it.
Pretty cool. It's a pretty cool animal. So yeah, I can't wait to see what it does.
We might lose a lost boy the day comes. Bill fucking breeds a Capandro. So
We might. Yeah, Gary May. That may be the last straw. I mean,
Gary will never talk to you again.
disappear,
it may
man.
really break his heart. It may break him.
But what was the year though, Carly, when you got the itch? You know, I mean, obviously you're in full force. You know, you want to fill those cages up, but you know, this all had to start at some point. And I'm curious when it really was where you were looking at yourself and saying, I could be a chondro keeper. You know, let alone a breeder at this point.
Well, so I mean, even at a really young age, I grew up in Arkansas. We've got reptiles running everywhere. Much to my mother's distaste, I was constantly bringing stuff home. She continues to tell some story about me dragging up a big alligator snapping turtle in one of those like little red flyer wagons from the creek behind our house. So I had growing up colubrids and stuff, but it wasn't until after I really left Arkansas, I had space. I moved to South Carolina and I had space, and I was like, you know what, I'll get back into keeping reptiles. I'm familiar with green tree pythons. I actually, I work with fish, which go through a similar color change that we're all familiar with. So I actually work with developmental, so like larval forms of fish. It can be freshwater, freshwater, saltwater. Right now I work with estuarian fish at a really tiny level. But fish go through the same autogenic color change that, you know, the green trees go through. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a lot of species that do.
That's cool.
Pretty much all the saltwater angels have a juvenile color and change into an adult color.
Yeah. So it's I've always liked green trees. I was kind of held off by the sticker price for a while until, you know, I was an adult with adult money that I could spend on adult things.
No, Carly, I don't mean to get off. I don't mean to stop you, but your education's marine biology, right? Or what did you go to school for, or what did you get?
I went to Arkansas. So I went to Arkansas State University for a biology, just a bachelor's in biology, and there I focused on molecular and genetics work. So I actually had plans when I was on Arkansas to go into herpetology, and I just made the switch. I decided that I did not want to do. I didn't want to work every single day because I didn't want to take away from the things that I love and want to come home to after a hard day of work. Yeah. So I switched to fish. And then when I switched, I came to Charleston and I did a bachelor's in marine biology.
Mm.
And I'm in the process
Nice.
right now of publishing my research for my thesis for my master's in marine biology.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
Very
Good job.
And
Yeah.
so what do you do day to day now, Carly?
Well, I'm still we just recently moved, and I'm still kind of in the process of, I'm home right now finishing writing that paper, ready to get it published and get it out of the way. We're still in the process of like growing our family and stuff like that. So just because daycare is expensive, and
You're not wrong there, sister.
no, I'm not.
What I mean, doing all that with being a mom as well is just even more impressive. That's awesome.
Yeah. So right now I'm just kind of staying home to finish the paperwork. I've kind of toiled with the idea of going back to teach biology labs at College of Charleston, but ultimately just decided to hold off for another semester. So
You have one child?
yeah, one currently.
That's awesome.
And is your husband into snakes also?
He is super supportive.
That's good.
He has always liked reptiles. And then, of course, when we met and I was like, oh, by the way, I have a lot of snakes. He helped me build this entire wall. I'm not a builder. I hate building stuff.
Right.
So like all this, all him. Well, and then obviously like Black Box made the cages. Good old David made the perches. So
David, yeah.
But
you had this. You're like me. You had a lot of your collection when you met your significant other, so they knew what they were getting themselves into.
Right.
I did, and he's also gotten himself into it as well. So
yeah.
We'll definitely tell you I have acquired quite a few things recently that I've had a little push and a little help from somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
She told me, I think the first week we talked, she told me she was into basins. I sent her one link of a basin or something available. She swooped it up right away. And I was like,
I did. I did not hesitate.
I was like, I like your style.
I did not hesitate. I said, okay, cool.
But just for people out there looking or wondering the sizes of the enclosures, what are they? If you would just kind of lay that down for the record.
The ones, the majority of them are the 24-inch cubes. The ones that I have up top are actually 18. So
cool.
They're just 18 high.
Okay.
So they're just for a little bit smaller.
Right.
So, but those are all Black Box cages, and then David is the one who did all of the PVC branches, which look phenomenal.
So I know you're familiar with the levels of getting into the Chondro game. You could either just, get what you could get in the imports. You could get localities, or you can fucking get right to the designers. What did you start off with as far as collecting your first few Chondros? Because I know you have designer stuff, obviously, but I noticed some locality stuff as well. So if you could just kind of break down what you got into and what the foundation is for you now, as far as locality versus designer.
So I knew I'm one of those people that I will sit on things for an insanely long period of time before I actually pull the trigger, which is what I did with the basins, that and the fact that I couldn't find them. So I sat on chondros for a long time. And I also, with my biology background, I am readily aware of imports. I'm readily aware of the challenges that come with imports. And I wasn't ready to do that. So I knew I was already familiar with Morph Market. I was already familiar with these big turn and burn people. So I stayed away from imports, and I was talking to a couple of breeders back and forth. But I actually ended up, somebody sent me a link. So my very first Chondro, someone sent me a link to Craigslist in our area where somebody posted a Chondro in a gecko cage. They said, it's mean, it bites, $100, come get it.
Nice.
And I did. And I sold the cage. I sold the cruddy cage for $100. So the snake was free. I still have her. She's some sort of northern type. I have no idea what she is, but I still have her. And from there, I kind of reached out to breeders. I got a couple of animals that were like secondhand. I had one of Bill's sickness siblings. So I've kind of In the beginning, it was a lot of I caught the fever fast, and it was, this is in my price range, let me get it. Versus like now I've kind of restructured, and I'm way more specific about the things that I get, and that they have to fit kind of like into this puzzle of the plan that
Just waiting for the right animal to pop up.
Yeah, I have a waiting list, and my waiting list is very specific. It has breeders' names on it and the specific animals that I would like out of it.
Damn. And what are those? Let's kind of get into it. Let's see, like, what is it that is your sought after goal as far as when you look at other people's work? Like, what's your eye catching the most?
So I love the high yellows. Like that is the dream for me. I can have, every single one of these cages could be filled with yellow speckled chondros, and I would be perfectly happy with it. Yeah. So the things that kind of fit in that, I have started getting into some of the calicos to kind of mix with the high yellows. So I like the yellow. I like the black, obviously. But I primarily am going for the yellow and the black.
So would you say you're trying to accumulate more yellow babies or red babies?
Oh, I have an even mix of it. The yellowest snake that I have in my collection, like she is 90% yellow as a 3-year-old, and she's from John. She was a yellow Neo.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit of a mix of everything. I don't really have any sort of like I'm not discriminating against anything or like going after one thing more than another. It's just kind of what genetics fit into the plan that I'm trying to make.
Well, I definitely want to own something because I always give a little jab here and there about yellow Neos, and I really am just playing. I think yellow Neos are awesome, and I will admit something right now. I have a high yellow, but it's a red Neo, and I love it. But it's more of a mustard kind of towards a yellow, right? Which is fine because it's still high yellow. But the ones that I feel like the high yellows that I just can't stop staring at are the ones that just have that really high, like coloration of green, but they're like speckles of green and a yellow. You know what I mean? And those are yellow neonates. I'm realizing like those high yellows are yellows.
They can come from either.
Yeah, but
I've seen who is it? There's somebody that's got Bill, one of your babies from Biscuit.
Yeah.
Who is that that's got that?
It was a yellow baby. There's several out there. They're super high yellow, but they were all yellow babies.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of potential for that right there. The one that I have, like I said, she's mostly yellow with just some like green specklings. And that's perfect. I would love to add some black specklings into it too, but
you sound like Matt Morris. That's always been Matt Morris's like fantasy to have the high yellow and high black.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I just picked up not that long ago a mustard animal from Rod Love.
That's a Rod.
And she's got a lot of it's got a lot of like black speckling in her as well, and it's a gorgeous animal.
This right here, Carly, I fucking dropped my jaw when I saw this one because that's one of the neatest yellows I've ever seen.
So, but just for clarification, that one is not one that I have produced. That one animal was actually produced by my best friend and the woman that I do a ton of projects with, which is Kaylee D over at Laramie. She produced that with Jay Taylor. That animal is right there.
So this is a person that you have labeled as a partner under your page.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay.
Cool. I know Kaylee D well.
Yes, you do know Kaylee. But yeah, so they produced that out of an F1 Cyclops from Tad.
Oh my God! Do you have this? Yeah. You have this snake?
I have her. Yes.
That's the one that you posted in the post. This one right here.
Yes, but she doesn't look like that anymore. She looks that one.
This one right here.
Yes.
That's so wicked.
Still kept.
Well, the pattern turned to crazy blue.
Yeah,
you cannot knock yellows, bro. Yeah, that thing is badass right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's here, and we're hoping to put her with some stuff. I haven't quite figured out if I want to put her with the Clyde Claus male that I have or the Rod Love animal that produced for me this year that's got the popcorn sissy background.
And what is the background on this snake?
So this one is a TK animal. She was a F1 Cyclops from Tad, and then a TK animal, which was out of Maxwell to Nora.
Okay.
Yeah, she has it right here in the post.
I do.
Oh man, but I can't. I stared at this probably a good 12 minutes today.
Yeah, it's
couldn't-
wild. It's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
That's some pretty stacked genetics, though. So really not surprising, you know.
right.
And there were several of the babies in that clutch that had those super incredibly thick. They almost look like those glacier animals.
Yeah, yeah, definitely what it gives me kind of.
Yeah,
vibe,
she's on the lineup this year, so hopefully.
So most of the stuff you've gotten at this point like has been raised by you, like you've gotten it young, like neonates, or did you get anything as adults?
So I have a handful of things. A lot of the stuff that I've actually gotten, I do have some that have been neonates, but a lot of them have been like subadults and stuff like that. I've just happened upon a lot of really good things that people ended up needing to move, and I'm like, you know what, that works perfect for me. So I do have some things that are, like I have a Drew animal that I'm currently raising up. It's gone on a year now. But as far as like most of this stuff, I think I got it as like 2 or 3.
And establishment's been straightforward for you. Like, have you had any crazy learning curves that you could maybe talk about, or like any kind of like rough years, I guess you can say, and maybe not even.
So I actually had that first the Craigslist snake that I got. It did a lot of regurgitation, and we couldn't really figure out why. We finally took her after it had gone on for a while for x-rays, and she had I still have it somewhere, a mass of hair that had to be surgically removed. That was just like a big block of hair.
Wow.
That's what happened to my albino that lived to 2 years old.
Like human hair, or like are we talking rodent
hair?
No, like rodent hair.
There's some gross people out there. Like some people feed their snakes on the floor or something weird. You never know. They could get a hairball from the freaking carpet. You never know. Just saying. Because why wouldn't it be able to digest rat hair? You know what I mean?
That was our process, but we put it underneath the microscope and it was hair.
Wow. And a clog of it.
Oh, it was huge. It was massive.
Wow.
I mean, thank God the snake she's fine.
That's good. I've done surgery on a couple snakes, never had one really come out of it.
Yeah, Marshall's the one that always says if you ever have to do surgery on a snake, you can basically kiss that snake goodbye as far as breeding goes, right?
I mean, not just a living is what I was saying. But breeding, if they live, sure, yeah, I'm sure you can breed them. Other
than that,
if it lives, just sold on Craigslist.
Ready to breed.
Proven breeder.
RTP, proven.
Other than that, I think the wildest thing that I've seen is one of the females that laid for me this year, this season, all of her teeth fell out.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that. I saw that post. That was weird.
All of her teeth. She was fine. She had started eating again. This was like well after she laid. She was eating just fine again. This was a big snake. She was around 1,600 grams when I bred her.
Dude, no teeth.
And then all of a sudden she started getting really sloppy. Like it was just
like sloppy the way she was eating, behaving. Like, what do you mean by sloppy?
Sloppy, like when she couldn't grab a hold of the rat, which I thought in water, so that maybe didn't help. But I kind of started to question because she would more drop it and then go down to the floor and eat it. Right. I kind of started to question. I was like, does she not have teeth? Yeah. And sure enough, I finally got her out. I tried to look, and I finally just kind of rubbed my finger along her gum line. No teeth.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. Are all the male chondros looking at her weird now?
She's still doing really good. Still eats just fine.
The teeth haven't come back.
They've started to grow back. Which
that's gnarly.
Never heard of that.
I talked to a couple of people who were like, "Oh yeah, it's happened to me before." And when you think about it, the amount of calcium that goes into egg development, I mean, even human women, I cracked a tooth when I was pregnant, and that's incredibly common apparently.
Wow.
but that was new to me.
Hey, shout out to all the women out there giving birth. I mean, you guys go through a lot, man. That shit's gnarly. I just want to say, like, I've always respected women, but after seeing what my wife went through, I kind of have like a whole nother appreciation, and it's fucking intense. It's pretty, yeah. Shout out to you guys. It's pretty crazy. Your teeth fine now?
Yeah, my teeth are fine. My teeth are A-okay.
Okay. Okay, obviously, so, you know, other than the missing teeth or whatever that's going on right now, everything you've raised behind you that's been pretty good. You haven't any nothing that need to be put in the freezer or anything like that, huh? Like no crazy rolls or anything.
I mean, I've had several chondros, so I have had ones that have rolled before on me. I had two that rolled I had one that was actually one of Francis's animals. It was
Frank?
a sibling to
Frank. No? Oh yeah, shout out to Frank. Frank's
yeah,
awesome.
it was his sibling to Saron, I think is how you say that. And that one just prolapsed on me pretty heavily. We did the necropsy, and it just had a malformity in the gut. I had another one that died of a heart defect.
Oh wow. So
I mean,
these are things that happen to even humans, is what you're saying. Like there's nothing you could really do about it. Like just
yeah, it's been really unfortunate. And now I have had some over the years because I am anal about my testing, my NIDO testing. So like I have had plenty that have not plenty. I've had like 3 that have come in that did not pass quarantine. They either failed their first or their second NIDO test, and they were instantly out of my house. Most of them went to live at the lab.
What's the lab?
Just moved them to a different portion where I was working on the fish stuff.
Oh, okay.
And not in my house. Wow. So, but most of those, I didn't put them down unless they were symptomatic. I mean, if an animal's eating just fine, let it eat and live its life. Just as long as it was nowhere near the rest of my stuff, I was fine.
Yeah. So okay, so do you have anything that's still living now that has NIDO or it's
no.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Right. And how frequently are you testing your own snakes, as far as, like, do you have something that you do every year or every other year? Like, or are you just confident that your snakes are NIDO free now and just look for symptoms?
I test mine because I am still building my collection as far as the things that I need. So I test like the stuff behind me twice a year, which is excessive. I've been told that it's excessive, and then that's fine. It's my money. I don't care.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
I spot test my collection. I would say probably twice a year. 2 times.
It just makes me feel really more confident and stuff because I can say, "Oh, I know for a fact that my collection is clean." And then I have a pretty stringent quarantine process. So I mean, I've got a giant thing of RAL tests sitting over there. So we do that a lot. They talk to us a lot.
Yeah. RALs, as far as price goes, that's your best bet for sure.
When you're doing multiple, for sure. Now, I will say that I keep a couple of the fish head kits here just because of the fact that with fish head, they give you the return label.
Yeah.
And if you're only doing one, it's more cost efficient to do fish head because of the fact that overnight back to RAL, if you're just doing one plus the cost of the test, ends up coming out to more money.
Right.
I didn't know that fish head would let individuals test. I thought all their tests came through vets.
Mm.
No.
You're talking about fish head or RAL?
Fish head.
No, yeah, fish head is geared towards like keepers and stuff like that. Like it's just individual.
When I presented out in Anaheim, Scott Stahl was there, and he, in his presentation, made the big kick that that fish head, was maybe superior because the results were sent through vets, and there couldn't be manipulation of the samples.
Now, I worked at the exotic clinic in Charleston, and we used RAL, but we didn't use fish head. So I don't know if maybe But if you're sure that it's fish head, I don't know. I don't know any vets that use it.
There's only 2 big ones, and and RAL's right here in my backyard, so it was definitely fish head and Scott Stahl. You know, I mean that's who he uses, who he recommends. But I just assumed that they only went through vets. I didn't know they went through individuals.
What does that mean? Only went through vets?
You have to test if you use the vet.
Yeah, they're like, you couldn't, Marshall Mendez, you couldn't just send fish head a bunch of samples and they'd run it for you. That they would want you to bring the animal to the vet, have the vet collect the sample, send it to fish head. Then they.
So is that what you do when you do your random test? You bring a vet to.
Are you out of your mind? Have you lost your mind?
Is this a serious question?
No.
So you use the other company?
I use RAL.
Okay.
In my backyard, who's literally 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah, they're in Texas. They're in Allen.
Yeah. But listen, shout out to anyone out there testing, period. Shout out to you guys. It's the way, it's the way to go. But one of the things I felt like that's been kind of a hot topic in the Chondro community, because obviously it's growing, Carly, there's people getting in more and more because they probably come across your page. And I know you've been great at talking to people and, you're quite known in the Chondro community in a positive light. But have you yourself ever picked up any chondros that you felt that weren't really established as well as you thought they were going to be, and there were like quite a bit for you to get going, or maybe even gotten a chondro that was doing well and just didn't eat for you when it first showed up? Like any kind of stories when it comes to having reestablishing a neonate?
I had 2 different ones, and I don't want to name names, but I have had.
We're all about naming names here.
Dude,
I know.
Yeah, even when it's over, we
Didn't
still
you
want
get
names.
some fancy mail, Bill, over that?
He wasn't the only one.
Get some fancy mail.
Fancy mail. It was
Fancy mail.
I didn't. I'm pissed. Anyways.
Well, no, I had one Neo that came into me that definitely required a little bit of back and forth with the breeder, who was fantastic over it. And then some kind of work. I actually ended up having to go get some chick down to get that Neo back on. So I've had one happen that way. And then I did bring in one that was from Max, and Bill, you had some from Max Steinberg. Yeah. And he told me, he said, they're not super great eaters. And I didn't have any problem with it whatsoever. So I've had a couple here and there. I've definitely had some Neos that I kind of mentally put that in my book, and I was like, okay, not shipping them if they're that small.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
So I have, but it's ultimately, and what I love about the kind of community that we do have with chondros is you can easily go on like the Morelia page or something like that, and you can see the people who are just blowing steam out of their ass, or you can see the people who know what they're talking about, like Bill, and you reach out.
Yeah.
I know, Bill, I have reached out to you several times before when I've had issues, and
Several.
But
of course, I mean that's why we're here. That's what it's all about, right?
Yes, the helpfulness. Thank goodness, there are definitely people out there who have no idea what they're talking about.
Well, Carly,
they love to help, though.
Oh, they love to help. They're all about help, but don't you worry. You got to sign like a non-disclosure to get their help and talk to them. Whatever that could be.
Carly, you've reached out, but I've always, not always, but a lot of times I'll put the impetus back on you. Like, right? Like there's no right or wrong here. This is a gray zone. This is something that as a breeder, you need to make a decision, that you want to do. I tell you what I would do, but there's no right or wrong.
I feel like that's a lot with chondros.
It is a lot.
There's like a million different answers for everything. It's
like, when do I assist feed? How long do I wait? I had an animal that ate twice and then hasn't eaten in 5 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. What do I do?
Yeah. But what's the percentage of the problem being user error versus the breeder sending you a snake that's faulty?
It's a really good question. I don't have that answer, but I think it just depends. You know, a lot of the stuff that if I was having issues with a Neo that I had gotten sent, a lot of it, like if it was in a setup that had already been running and that had already proven successful, I knew it wasn't the setup. And I didn't change a whole lot of things between, you know, like when I would get an animal and then that animal's treated the same way. So a lot of that kind of helped me rule out what I thought might have been my problem versus the animal just kind of going off from being shipped or being stressed or something like that.
Carly, I mean, in your opinion, what's the minimum amount of meals an animal should have in it before it's sent out? What would you say?
I mean, I think that's different. That also varies because what are we talking about in meals? Are we talking about you're feeding it a small pink every week? Are you feeding it a large pinky every 3 days? Like I know
he's talking about from the very first point of it, the very first meal.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is not all meals are created equally.
Let's say you're feeding a pink every 5 to 7 days.
I mean, I feel me personally, I want to see at least like 20, 25 meals. That's just me being safe.
Yeah.
I know
No, that should be 20 should be the minimum, I think.
Yeah, I know people who get it.
I think 20 is a great number. 20 is a great number for a couple of reasons. I've never sent an animal out at 20 meals that has done the crazy not eaten, like take a meal and then skipped. And I've never sent a chondro out after 20 meals that's prolapsed for the new owner. So 20 is my number. I agree 100%. It's a great number. That's a lot.
That's a lot of.
That's a long time. That's all. You're looking at what 5 months.
I would be confident with 20 meals for sure. That would be like, I think that's a solid number right there.
But I mean, the standard used to be 10. So
no, the people still go by that standard. Let me just make that be clear out there, if not less. I mean, I've already talked to people who said the breeder told me this is its sixth, seventh meal, and I'm like, holy shit! So definitely.
I mean, the bottom line is, as long as you honestly disclose how many meals it is.
I mean, yeah, it's what it comes
it's up to the buyers. You know, the buyer knows what they're getting into. You know,
you bet. And some buyers are different than others. Is it your first chondro, or have you been breeding them for 10 years?
Right.
Carly, if there was a snake out there you really, really wanted, and the buyer or the seller was like, "This, I've only had 7 meals, but I'm willing to send it to you," would you wait or would you take that snake? What would you do personally if it's a snake you really, really wanted?
It depends on who it's coming from. Like if that was Bill that said something,
somebody good, yeah, somebody like even though Bill wouldn't, but I'm just saying, like if it was somebody respectable.
I mean, me having the background that I have and knowing that I've gotten these babies started. And I've had issues with Neos before. I wouldn't have an issue with it, but I wouldn't prefer it. It's not my preferred.
Okay. Here's what I would say to somebody like Carly. I'd say, I'll send it to you for 7 meals, but then I'm hands off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to, if it prolapses, 2 weeks from now, that's on you.
It's your problem.
I would rather keep it. I'd rather have it prolapse on me.
I would get it, just not tell Marshall because he's going to curse you and tell you it's going to get prolapse, and then you're fucked. But you're right. I guess it's case by case. You feeling comfortable is one thing, but for the average person, I don't think that's a smart move at all.
No, it's not a smart move, like at all.
Yeah,
I do think that there should be, I don't know, there should just be standards that are not 10 meals.
Yeah.
And there are definitely people going under that.
Okay, so but this brings me to my next topic, right? Now, we all know Marshall has no problem holding shit back and not selling anything, which I always feel like that would be a goal for me because, I want to see where these are headed, But when do you feel, Carly, like if it comes to you having a clutch that you were really interested in, like when do you feel like you are ready to let go of certain neonates versus like keeping them? Or like what's your angle when it comes to that,
I'm stingy. I'm gonna hold them. I'm gonna hold them for a while. Especially because I don't know. A lot of people are doing repeat pairings. Like, Bill, you've got 1 million repeat pairings. These are the first time. These are virgin animals. These are the first time that I have no idea what they're doing. And the biologist in me is not gonna just let things go without knowing where it goes. I'm gonna hold it for a minute.
I get it.
So
No judging here. I get it 100%. And I did that a lot when I was where you are.
no.
Mm. Now, as far as where you're at, I mean, obviously I noticed you had quite success with some of the clutches that you've that've gone the distance for you. I think this year, right? All the success you've been having has been recent this year, or you got some stuff maybe a year ago, or can you start breaking down what you've been producing and what you've been showing on your page and whatnot?
So I had one clutch that was laid in 2022, and that was the first clutch that I ever produced. It was from Virgin Animals. So I had that in 2022. The highlights are up there on the Instagram page. But that clutch, unfortunately, that clutch didn't make it. It made it about halfway through incubation and it crashed. And it was not for lack of trying. The parameters were right. The only thing that we could really come up with was that it was poor calcification. They kind of looked odd from the get-go. They did have strong veins, but they looked odd. And that's kind of what developed without any condensation issues.
Right.
So I gave it a year off because I had my son and went in this year. I did not expect for both clutches, both pairings to go this year. And they did within 10 days of each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
And honestly, I've been really spoiled this year for a first time being successful. I didn't have a whole lot of issues, and I'm sure that's setting me up for sadness because with chondros comes issues.
Eventually, yeah.
But I didn't have any issues. I didn't have any egg bound. I didn't have any major clutch lost. I lost 4 neos total.
How many eggs, Carly, between the two? How many eggs did you have?
I had 10 with the first, and then I had 13, and I lost 3 eggs early from that clutch, and then I had 17 on the other clutch.
Oh, wow.
And she rolled most of them like this?
Yeah, she ain't very smart.
I mean,
she was sitting on 4.
Okay.
Wow. That's still really good numbers.
Fuck yeah.
That is. Yeah, it's excellent
I
numbers.
was really happy with the odds. I didn't expect the second clutch because I had been trying that pairing for 3 years, and the male would basically ground every single year. And then this year I put him in there and the sun hadn't even gone down before he was on her. So
Ground and pound.
no, ground and disappeared. Didn't want nothing to do with that.
So red and yellow neonates out of this clutch.
Yeah, I had both. We were kind of interested to see because that male is from Garrick, and it did come out of his Kronos pairing, and Kronos is red dominant.
Right.
So we were kind of interested to see. Patrick did a pairing with the sibling, and the sibling proved to be red dominant, but not the one that we've got.
Okay. And so your second clutch, what was the pairing on this one?
So that was the love male, which was the one who
Nice.
I used in 2022. And I did that to a Biak.
Oof. Yes. Damn, she's fire.
And that's the one that I've gotten the really dark neos out of.
Right. Yep.
Was that mixed as well? Mixed clutch?
Yeah, it was.
So you got red and yellows out of this one.
I did.
How many eggs?
I had 17 total. I had all 17 went the distance.
All right.
And one pipped and then proceeded to go back in and drown, I guess.
Huh. So what? Okay, what do you guys have to say to that? I mean, Marshall, Bill, as far as like pipping and going back in and then it drowned in the egg, like, what can you do anything about that?
I mean, it can happen, right?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not.
it has
Not
happened.
very common. But
I just got my blessings if it only happened once.
Right.
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Stupid.
I had 2. I had one from each clutch that just appeared to have gone back in and then drowned. The first clutch I had 2 other ones as well. One had a really messed up face.
Okay.
It just kind of looked fucked up. and the other one was wrapped in the umbilical cord. So
all right. So those are the issues with that. But these look great. And so
it's a nice looking clutch.
Yeah, majority of these you still have or what?
Yeah, so I have all but 6 of those. The female came from a good local friend of mine, and he came and picked up the 6 that he wanted. So the other 10 I still have.
Nice.
How did y'all split them up? How did you how did you do the split? What was the
So initially, when he brought that female to me, I took her 3 years ago, and initially we were going to do, an even split clutch like normal. But then he was very adamant. He keeps emeralds. He's an emerald person.
Nice.
He's not a chondro person. And he said, listen, you've done all the work. You've fed her for 3 years. I just want 6. That's all I want.
Nice.
That's top notch. That's nice.
And he established them himself. Like he took them pre-established, or did you get them all established first?
They've had a couple meals in them. So that clutch is still sitting at like 9 to 10 meals. They're going into their 3rd sheds now. So they had some meals in them that he was ready to come get them.
Damn, these are super badass. So
yeah,
why don't
the last couple ones were sick.
Why don't we get into establishing, like how is well, first and foremost, what's your approach, Carly? So you have a big clutch like this. They've gotten their first shed. Then what? Like, how long do you like to wait? When do you like to approach? How is your approach? Are you a nighttime, daytime, afternoon?
So I broke it down because I did between this clutch and the other one, I had 24 babies. So I broke it down, a certain amount this day and a certain amount this day and a certain amount that day, so that I didn't overwhelm myself. I came in fully prepared. I was completely stocked up. I am incredibly blessed to have a local dealer here in Charleston, Worm King, and he's fantastic. He's literally right down the road. So I was stocked up on Red Hots, stocked up on chicks, stocked up on, couple day old pinks and stuff like that.
Did you say Worm King?
Worm King, yes. He does worms too.
Worms.
He's got a little bit of everything.
He's got worms.
He's got worms, yes, but he's also got rodents. He's really awesome. But so I was super stocked up. I was super prepared. I talked to Marshall. I think it was you that I spoke with, that you were cutting the chicken gizzards, and I was like, I'm gonna go get some gizzards. So I had those on hands too, and I got spoiled. Everybody ate the first go around with no chick down.
Wow! So just a hot pink.
That's crazy.
Just a hot pink, and then how long did you wait after the first shed?
So as they shed, I fed them instantly. I just kind of divvied it down and broke it down to who had shed and put them in that first group or that second group or that third group, depending on, which day I was doing it. And I just went in. I went in at dusk. So I went in. I didn't have any lights on in my room except for the cage lights so that I could see. And I just went in dusk, and, some of them had to have some teasing, but other than that, everybody took their first and second meals perfectly fine. It wasn't until after second meals that I finally had some that decided they wanted to be a little bit on the pickier side. And I had one last holdout that ate last night, unassisted again.
And I'm just trying to get an idea of the average minutes you're spending per Neo before it actually takes for you. What would you say like it was for you on this clutch?
I'm telling you, I got really spoiled. Maybe 2-3 minutes per Neo.
On that last one, what was the amount of time that passed between when it took 2 and then, like, how long did it fast before you got to take the third one?
So it didn't. I was actually hands-on assist feeding that one. I was using the rat tail because I didn't want to do the play it out method. It didn't feel comfortable with me. So I left it for a few weeks, and I was trying it every time I was trying that group. I was still trying it. I added in chick down. I got some gecko skins. I did not get geckos, but I got gecko skins. And so I was trying a little bit of, different things, and I was getting ready to break out the gizzards. And then it willingly, the feeding before this last time, it took a rat tail when I offered it. So then yesterday I offered it and it took it, and I did a little dance. I was super happy about it.
So are you pretty like pro not going to use chick down on the first go moving forward with a lot of your clutches, or what's your belief with chick down now?
I just gave it a try because I have seen before and have talked to people that have had issues getting them off of the chick down. So I didn't want that. So I just decided I would give it a try. I had a cup of chick down ready, waiting there.
Okay.
And I've used it a couple of times. Every time I feed, I've got a little cup of chick down. I ended up with a giant pack of chicks, and I think I'm still plucking off of the first like 2.
I've had some that I've had in my freezer for like 5 years.
I'm a little bit worried about them being freezer before I use them. But so I mean, I had the chick down there if I needed to use it. I had it, and I wasn't against using it. I just, if they would take it without me having to scent it, I was happier that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, shout out to Lupe. We had Lupe on the show a little while ago, and he had a couple stragglers or a couple stubborn neonates that ended up taking without chick down. And so I guess it kind of has to just be situational as far as how you're approaching. But I feel like a lot of people feel like, well, I guess I need to get chick down because that's like what I need to get it to eat on its first go. But I guess it all depends.
No, I mean, all of mine took without chick down. I never had to scent. I have, a few since then, but other than that, all of them have taken. Like I said, I've been really spoiled. I was really shocked. I was prepared to spend hours in trying to feed them, and I got lucky. I have a few friends that have been irritated by it. They're like, you'll get what's coming to you, and I'm sure I will.
Haters.
What a bunch of haters, dude. Like, I mean, it's like you can't like wish or tell somebody something bad's gonna happen, aka Marshall will do this to you, just because you've had a little bit of good luck. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't always mean you're gonna be miserable. You just can't be upset when you are going through it. That's all. And I
was very tempted to go buy a lottery ticket after that last batch of babies ate with no problem. I was like, we should
never know.
A lottery ticket.
Damn. So, okay. And like you said, a lot of these have already had 9 or 10 meals now, you said?
Yeah. So my first, the first clutch, the GG animal they're on 13 to 15 meals.
Okay. And no stragglers. Everything's solid is what you're saying at this point.
And are they big pinks or fuzzies?
They're on large pinkies. They could probably do fuzzies. I just haven't done it yet. I didn't really want to push the envelope too much. But they're all eating. I mean, they're sight feeding. So they are on the dime.
Carly, does the Worm King have ASFs?
I believe he does. I haven't needed them, but I believe he does.
I'd throw him in the mix.
Throw him in the mix just for fun?
Well, just for fun and nutritional value, and yeah.
Well, I've watched a couple episodes. Apparently, I should still throw some gizzards in.
I'm not telling you what to do, but my Neos, half of their meals are chicken gizzards. The other half, I rotate between mice pinks and ASF pinks.
Mm.
I should. I haven't thought much into it.
And I'll tell you what, when they eat the gizzard and they shit, it looks like a full formed turd. It's not an ink dot.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
It's not sharded all over the side of the bin.
It's not a shark. Sharks make me nervous from a breeding and from a personal perspective.
I can see how that would be.
Phil, remind me when you like to implement gizzard to a neonate. At what point? Like, is it the second meal or you don't do first meals, right?
Second meal. First meal is a chick down pink, mouse pink. Second meal is a gizzard, either scented or not scented.
Okay. Now, you said you were you haven't bumped to a fuzzy quite yet, but like what's your gonna be like ratio from there on up? Like once you kind of get something on a fuzzy, how are you going by when you feel it's like the right time to bump it up from there? Like, and obviously let's get to the whole mice versus rats when it comes to adults, that kind of thing.
So I just kind of plan to bump them up based on their girth size, I guess. Feeding a large meal to a chondro still makes me very nervous. Just because you see a lot of horror stories. So, and there's a whole lot of situations that I'm sure are play into part of the, the issues with prolapsing and whatnot. But I just kind of go by girth size. Like I bumped them up. I have, they started on small pinkies, or I guess red hot pinkies. And when I couldn't see, when I opened the tub and was like, did I feed you? Yes, I fed you. I think I fed you. When it wasn't obvious to me that I had clearly just giving them a meal, I was like, it's time to bump up. And it's the same kind of concept that I'm going with for the pinkies that they're on now. If I can't tell that I have fed them, then I think they need a little bit more. So I'll bump up at that point.
That's a good strategy.
So you got a breeder female that you're getting ready to breed, as far as that season or whatnot. It's prime feeding time for you. Are you doing rats or are you doing mice?
I do a mix of both. So I've got a mix of both rats and mice, as far as some of my my males that might eat a jumbo retired breeder mouse. They may also turn around and get a weaned rat sometimes. So I kind of do change it up a little bit. I don't really have any, I'm not like a hardcore, only mice or only rats or something like that. That's not something that's ingrained in me, because they're not going to be eating just that biologically.
Yeah.
So I still do a little bit of a mix. I tried Reptilinks once, never again.
Yeah.
That was
seems to be the consensus for
explosion.
Smash and leave, right?
Yeah, no, we're not doing that again. So
those smell too, right? I can only imagine.
They do.
Okay, yeah.
They do. And I have some really aggressive feeders.
Yeah. Smash.
And they just go everywhere. And if you don't get every single crumb out of that cage, you're gonna smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just smell like there's a dead rat in the cage or whatever. Yeah. Mm.
It's got that decay smell.
Yeah.
So, but no, so I mean, I feed a mix, just kind of a mix of stuff.
Is there a time of year you're not feeding at all?
No, I feed year round. I don't. So I lightly food cycle. And when I say lightly, I mean I've bumping up that last month that I cycle. At least that's what I did this year. Just to kind of bring about follicular development and kind of encourage the females to think, oh, there's plenty of food. I have the availability now where I can develop, and reproduce without having any issues. So other than that, I don't take off food at all. Unless I've got one that's really backed up and just has not shit for a while.
Right.
Then, yeah, they're getting a break. But other than that.
What do you do? Do you wait them out, or do you soak them or spray them or what?
So I do a little bath, little exercise on the pipe tree, back in the cage, and then a heavy spray down. And I did that with one a few days ago, and I barely got him in the cage before it just everywhere.
Yeah.
Something I've started doing is just taking the perch and sitting it on the floor, then making them, crawl up to the other perch. And then every time I walk in the room, I'll just take whatever perch they're on, sit it on the floor, or at least get them moving around a little bit.
That is a good idea. I use, I couldn't find it. We used to have one. I used an old wine rack the other day.
Yeah.
but just a PVC tree.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's crazy how like some of these things won't bother to fucking move worth a dick unless you do something like what Marshall said, or you take them outside and like almost snap them out of it. And then they're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Because moving's everything. And you will obviously notice a snake that isn't shitting for you on the regular. You get it to move and you give it a good spray down, it's more likely going to shit. It triggers something from what I've noticed on the average. Like it's pretty rare I don't have a snake shit after I get it to move and I soak it down if it needs to shit. Now, if it's not shitting, then I feel like, damn, that could be I mean, Marshall's had snakes not shit for a very long time, right, Marshall?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
and it coincides with the ones that don't move around very much.
yeah, I have one. It's that one right there. That it's the CC, the Clyde Claws male, and he not interested in moving, doesn't move. So he was the one that needed a little bit of help.
man,
So.
rest in peace, Clyde Claus, man. That was somebody I was trying
Yeah,
to.
shout out to Clyde.
Yeah, I wanted to get that guy on the show very bad, man, at some point, but God had other plans. But shout out to a legend in the Condro game. I'll never forget some of the stuff seen that he posted when I first started dabbling into Chondros, and just was really a spectator on the sidelines looking at stuff. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. It looks like you have quite the background. The lineage that you have going on right now, Carly, is like highly respectable. It's no joke.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I've gotten a lot of kind of like been able to kind of tick off some names off of my list here recently. I was super excited. I'm actually headed up to Maryland next weekend to pick up some animals from Christian.
Wow.
Ooh.
Flex. Some animals, not an animal. Some animals.
Some animals. Yes, some animals from.
Are you going to the barn to pick them up?
I have not asked because I'm not intrusive, but I am very hopeful that Christian might be willing to show me his collection. But I'm not gonna ask because I don't want to be that person that's like, hey, let me into your house.
He's
right.
He's about as private as they come.
Yeah. So, but I am very excited. But I had no intentions of planning to ship those animals. I understand.
How far is that from you to drive to Maryland?
7 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
But I'm also picking up 2 basins as well.
Yeah. And
Wow.
And that guy's in Maryland too. So guess who do you think she's picking him up from?
Yeah, I can.
What kind of bait? What are you getting basin wise?
So
Babies or
well, one is a 4-year-old and one is a like an 8-month-old snowflake from Ed.
Oh damn! What is the 4-year-old?
That one is actually it's a sibling to I believe it's a sibling to Ed's dark phase Draco that he has.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that one.
Wait, wouldn't it be his son? Wouldn't that be?
Yeah, probably his son. I would. Well, I don't know.
I think it's his. It's a half sibling. I'd have to look back. My memory since having a toddler is not great.
Hey, MJ, we have a Tim Park Jr. here on the episode.
Yeah, but she has Chondros too, which is like Tim's is all about his basins. You know what I mean? She's trying to do both, that's my goal at some point. But this girl has no chill right now on the gas.
I'm trying. We went really heavy. When we went into this kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm super excited to have the animals from Christian because it is part of that list. Bill, one of the animals that I'm picking up because Alex showed it to you. Y'all talked about it.
Gasanova, isn't it a relative to Gasanova, like a brother or something like that? Wow.
Yeah, I know the animal. I know the animal.
So super excited. I got a pair from him. So I'm definitely trying to get up there. It's been a joint effort at this point. Like I said, my fiance has really dove down into this and I got him hooked.
Shout out to your fiance, man.
And now there's 2 of us hooked on an expensive hobby.
You could literally be married.
There's worse things. There's worse things you could be hooked on.
There is so much worse things.
But honestly, like I want to say shout to your other half because you could be marrying a fucking douche who wouldn't be cool with all this. but he fucking is. And I think for you being a female in the game, which there isn't too many of you, first and foremost, like you're on it. You know what I mean? I think this is really awesome to see.
I'm trying. There's definitely, I mean, even in my career field, there's also it's predominantly dominated by men. So
there used to be some badass female chondro, Marshall, I mean, used to be some badass female chondro keepers and breeders.
Sutherland, how about her? Come back. Come to Trap Talk, Claudette, please.
I mean, just
Yeah.
many, and then it just seemed like they went away, and so it's really cool to see, and Carly's not the only one. There's a handful.
Yeah, there's a handful out there. I'm sure Kim Burge, Southern Chondros. Yeah,
is she still breeding?
Yeah,
she's out of it. Kim's out of it.
Kim's out.
She what?
She's out.
Kim's out.
Oh, really?
I think she's pretty much.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Colette Sutherland, massive.
Well, Carly would know. Carly, what other females out there that you feel like are like that need their props? You would say.
I mean, so I don't know a whole ton of females that are already breeding. Obviously, Kaylee, she does a lot of hognose, but she does a lot of Aru. She's got a really nice blue Aru, Miss Piggy. So she's had a lot of really good luck there with those. I know quite a few other keepers that are not quite there for breeding yet, but I don't know a whole lot of women that are actively breeding chondros.
Day by day.
I know some who are aspiring, and I hope that they continue on that path because there's more needed for sure.
Oh, 100%. Now, what?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bill.
I was just going to say, Patrick mentioned a couple of people here. Julie and Todd Gavin,
Yes,
Julie, local to me, literally live 20 minutes from me. So yeah, definitely need to throw their names out there. I just acquired an Arubiac from them a few months ago. One of the very few animals I brought into my collection. So yeah, Todd and Julie Gavin.
You mentioned Christian Stewart, but who else is on that list that you feel like that you're waiting to check off, Carly?
Well, I've got, I would love to snag something from Dave or John when they decide to let some stuff go. Would be really nice. I'm still kind of waiting on, Bill, I would really like something out of Biscuit.
I tried this year.
I know, and I had the opportunity. We were talking briefly right before I found out I was pregnant, and I'm glad that I waited because that was a roller coaster ride, pregnancy. But I still I am ready to get something out of Biscuit. Marshall, I need some basins from you.
Hey, slow down.
I'm working on it.
But I have a handful of people. I'm waiting on Lupe to breed his yellow calico male. Need him to get on that.
Hey, good call on that comment. I just told Ryan Young to go to bed right now. He needs a pipe down.
Great minds think alike. I was getting ready to type "go fuck yourself," but instead I said it's time to go to bed.
Ryan Young regurgitated when he said Arubiac, and so whatever, dude. Listen, we're not here bashing localities, pal.
And it was a red baby too, Ryan. It was a red baby.
But do you have any ambitions on breeding pure locality stuff, just to have like a foundation to work another project on the branches of all your chondro stuff, or the chondro tree and whatnot that you're building?
Probably not at this current moment, just because the only pure locality, there's not a whole lot for that stay yellow, and that's kind of what I'm after at this point right now. I have some locality based animals, but most of the stuff that I've been kind of diving down into is the designers that fit within the puzzle piece that I've got going. But I do have the Biak girls, and will continue to have them because Who doesn't need that to put into their foundation?
Yeah.
Tiger stripe would be good to get in your stuff too.
It would, but I don't know somebody who lets a whole lot of those go.
Me neither.
I don't either.
Me neither, pal. Me neither. But if it comes to numbers for you, obviously we can't determine that this good luck is going to stop. So let's just say the luck continues for you. And you do at some point have to start releasing stuff. I mean, maybe you don't, but I'm just saying you start to get to that point. What's your goal as far as how many females are you looking to breed in a year? Like, are you willing to go fucking full balls to the wall every year if you can and just see what hits? Or do you have like a certain number that you're trying to stay under?
So I am not aspiring to have 8 pairings out here anytime soon. I'm perfectly fine with having 1, 2, or even 3. 3 would probably be my max, because at the end of the day, I do have a career that I focus on. I have I don't want to call it a real job, but I have the stuff that it takes up a majority of my time. So I have that. I have no intentions right now to go and get my PhD. I've thought about it. But between my education, my career, and my family, because we just moved into a new house, we are still in the process of building our family and making a life. I don't want to be stressed and end up in a situation where I end up potentially losing animals. So I'm fine with just 1, 2, or 3 pairings in a season. I'm fine with that. If it doesn't happen every single year, that's perfectly fine too. I swear, with having young children, you blink and a year's gone by.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Mine are
MJ, you should
teenagers now, so enjoy those years while you can.
My boy turned.
Yeah, we're in the like tiny alligator stage.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, part baby, part alligator, part velociraptor. But we had it the first year, and that year that I did not try to redo from 2022 was a whirlwind between having the baby and then I actually had brain surgery.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Yes.
that explains a lot, Carly.
That explains so much. So that took a lot of time.
What happened? What happened, if you don't mind expanding?
I had a brain aneurysm.
Good.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, I went in at 37 weeks pregnant.
Oh my God. So you were pregnant when you had it?
Yeah, and they said, your headaches are caused by a brain aneurysm, and we're taking this baby out C-section tomorrow.
Wow.
Fuck.
And I had a little bit of time to heal, and went in, had a tube basically placed in my brain. It's still there, but the brain aneurysm is gone. It has shrunk, thank goodness. But yeah, so that was a roller coaster.
Carly, in practice, this was a long time ago. Before, it sounds like maybe you had like radiologic intervention. I mean, did they do like open brain surgery, or did they do it?
No, they went through.
Right? Yeah.
They went through here.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, when I was in practice before they had that technology, I did a combination C-section aneurysm clipping on the same lady on the same day. So
it was very scary because there was all these different, my C-section looked different because there was a lot of things that we couldn't do because we couldn't raise my blood pressure. So it was very touch and go. It was very scary. I processed it better than the rest of my family because I kind of had the chance. It was like, process brain aneurysm, process baby. Which one? So
and then come out of that and have a baby to take care of.
Yeah,
exactly.
But it was very. I mean, it honestly.
Insane.
That's the biggest thing is like that the aneurysm did is it put me behind on my own research and my paper that I've been working to publish because I couldn't look in a microscope. I had such bad headaches.
Wow. And you know, I remember my wife in just like kind of seeing that like headaches are common and you know, during pregnancy and whatnot. And so
Oh yeah,
I bet you just thought, okay, I'm just having fucking insane headaches with this pregnancy, but it was a lot worse than that, obviously. And
well, they brushed it off. You go to the doctor and they just say, drink water.
Yeah.
So they brushed it off for the longest. So, and then it was a neurologist that was like, no, we're going to schedule you for an MRI. And they called me within 30 minutes of that MRI. And we're like, hey, we need to talk.
And then how long was your recovery where you kind of felt like, you know, you could kind of get to it and get to everything as far as being a mother and taking care of the snakes again and all that?
Honestly, it was really, really quick. I spent about 48 hours in the hospital afterwards because I was considered a fall risk. But I was back home relatively soon. I just couldn't lift. There was a certain amount of weight that I couldn't lift. And that was more because they went in through an artery in your wrist. But the recovery was incredibly mild. I was on blood thinners, which with chondros is really fun. But other than that, it was really easy.
I hope you know how lucky you are.
Yes.
that this wasn't a decade ago, because your chance of stroke, death, major recovery issues were so much higher back then. And
we got really lucky, especially because they said, you know, I thought because I've scuba dove the majority, you know, of my adulthood, and I thought that maybe that increased pressure was what caused the aneurysm. And they said, nope, with the size of it, you've probably had it your whole life.
Yeah.
Dude.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
Yeah, seriously happy that you're good and you're here now, rocking it for all the female chondro keepers and just chondro keepers in general. You're killing it. But, you know, that is some scary stuff, though. It kind of makes you think, you know, like, never know. Shit could really go down. But is that why you're kind of going balls to the wall with everything? I mean, are you like, is that like a motivation for you to be like, fuck this, you can't take this with you, so we're gonna buy some basins and chondros right now?
Yeah, kind of. It is very eye-opening. It is incredibly eye-opening because it's like, you know, all it like that, it could have been gone. Like, I mean, I had I actually went through the process of having people who I knew, you know, good friends of mine, Kaylee, Keno, and Tucker, actually. I had those guys, like, they were aware I was going to the surgery. I was like, listen, if something happens,
That's awesome.
Please take care of my animals. Like, you know, I'm sure most everybody remembers Justin Wilbanks.
Yeah.
You know, he's very quick, you know, no one knew that was coming. And
it was really out of nowhere.
With his mom, and his mom was like, I don't know what to do with these things.
Yeah. Damn, I remember.
So that kind of like, I had a play in mind, you know, it was a low risk surgery, but anytime you're messing with somebody's brain. So I had people in my corner that I knew would take care of all of these guys. They would be fine. If something were to happen to me.
I really wanted a snake from that guy, man. He was such a cool guy. I'll never forget. Like, that's like a memory fucking like throwback right there, because he was the one that ran the page with Patrick, the BIAC Brigade or something like that. He helped, I think, ran one of those pages or something like that. But he was just one of my like people I would really admire looking at his BIAC productions and stuff like that. And he was
very sweet.
He passed right after Forrest passed. I remember, like, it was like super like, whoa, what's happening? It was really a fucked up time, to be honest. But yeah, definitely.
I think it's sad anytime we lose anybody in chondros. I mean, it's sad anytime anybody loses anybody, but
yeah,
I had spoken to him the night prior, so it was kind of like a surreal moment. Like,
and he was he ill then, or like was this like something that, because I'm not sure how he passed.
It was kind of a freak thing.
It was a freak thing. Okay, damn, yeah, unfortunate, man. So, you know, well, with that being said, like how carefully are you looking at certain things that are being paired at this point? Like, when it comes to you having to go for a pairing, like, what does it have to come down to for you?
I just want to see that, you know, things that I think might be compatible. you know, the Beox are a wild card. So honestly, I'm not against putting them together with any of the guys that I have, but that's what I've been in the process. Like I said, I still haven't figured out for that, the animal that we were talking about that's got those really thick diamonds that we showed at the beginning. I haven't figured out which I think is going to be better suited, you know, between the love animal or the CC animal. And it's a lot of, I make charts. My favorite thing to do is to make charts of backgrounds and, oh, okay, so this animal has this specific key parts to its background, whether that be, you know, non-calico melanistic animals or some high blue or high yellow or anything that is just stands out to me. So I kind of make a chart and I kind of sit and I say what's going to go best. But ultimately as well, it's compatibility with the animals. So, you know, like I'm leaning towards the CC male. I don't know that he's going to do anything. He's very lazy. Versus the love animal would breed a pole. So at the end of the day, I may want to do, my first choice may be to do one male and then they may pick for me. But what I'm not going to do is throw random stuff together and say, ooh, let's see what happens.
Marshall or Bill, have you had a lazy male all of a sudden turn the corner and just start breeding, or notice that some of your males are seasonal, will only breed certain times of the year or anything like that with your males?
My males have all been pretty good breeders. I mean, honestly, there's maybe like one or two I can remember that were kind of duds, but you know, for the most part, like, you know, Versace, he's been my main male for the last 20 something years. He'll breed all year, anything, any time of day, night, whatever.
Nice.
So yeah, but other, you know, there has been a few where you put them together and either, I don't know if it's because the female wasn't ready or, you know, they weren't ready. But there was not much action happening.
I know that also changed too, though, because like the GG animal, I put him, I attempted to breed him a little bit earlier, and he wasn't. I mean, he never moved off of the perch. He wasn't interested. Versus when I introduced him this past year to the female that he went with, he didn't stay off of her. Like I do record locks, and at one point, I mean, this list, it just says lock, and then I just said several locks in this time frame not separated because I stopped counting.
Yeah. Stop counting too.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not counting all those. Versus like the love male and the Beoc, I saw 3 confirmed locks, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's timing. He was definitely old enough. I think it's just timing, and maybe it just kind of eventually clicks.
It's probably age related. I mean,
I'm
like Marshall. You know, the vast majority of males that I've tried to pair eventually pair. You know, you want them to go at 3, and then you really expect them to go at 4, and then, you know, I've had a freight train, and, you know, who just has become epic. He decided, you know, he wanted to wait till he was 5 to breed. But once he decided he was ready to breed, fucking breed everything. Every time I put him in with an female, just every time. So, you know, I think it's just a lot of time they're just not ready, and we are hopeful that they are.
So he had a couple years where he wasn't doing shit, and all of a sudden he turned the corner, Bill?
Yeah, I tried to pair him when he was 3. I tried to pair him when he was 4. And then when he was 5, he was just ready to go, and he would just pound everything, anything I put him in with. You know,
I think it's pretty species wide that males just kind of mature and figure things out when they do.
And when they do, boy, try to hold them back.
Out.
Yeah, like Versace, shit, 20 plus years running. He fucker hasn't stopped ever since. I'm Marshall.
Yeah, he's been a great breeder since the very first time I ever paired him up.
And Jaeger's only a few years behind him.
Wow, Jaeger has that much age on him too?
16.
Yeah, close.
What's the eldest female you have, Bill and Marshall?
Probably like 6 years, 7 years.
Really?
This kid's one of my oldest, and she's like 10.
Who? Biscuit?
Biscuit.
Damn.
I had
that's
one of the
pretty
moms from this year's. The mom of this year's albino was, I believe, 13. She was my oldest. So she would have been 11, but I lost her after the clutch.
Oh, that's right. It was how soon after the clutch did she roll, Marshall?
I can't remember if it was before the eggs hatched or after, but she just never really recovered. She got a mild RI. I tried treating her, but she never got back on food.
And Carly, with your females that you had clutches from, what's your what do you like to go with as far as getting them to bounce back? Like, how do you like to how soon do you like to offer after they lay their clutch? What size meal? Like, what has worked for you?
So I offered probably about 2 weeks after they laid. And I just started on small meals frequently and then just slowly built back up to their regular food size. And like I said, I didn't really have any issues until the one turned sloppy on me.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And even then she was still eating. It just was a little interesting.
Yeah, on the floor. And I can't tell, but you do puppy pad substrate, right?
I do. I am a firm believer of puppy pads just for sanitary reasons, just because it's easier. I also like the fact I like to do, I pretty much will just dump some water in the cage every third water change. And I do water changes on Wednesdays. So like every third Wednesday, I can dump a bunch of water and that will hold that water for a while. And it just kind of increases humidity just briefly.
Right. You're in North Carolina, right?
I'm in South
Carolina. Right. Humidity is great over there.
Oh, yeah. It's Satan's ball sack over here.
Satan's ball sack. Wow, what a place.
Wow, no words.
No. It's like 80% humidity.
Damn, man.
Where? So you're where? Charleston? Or around Charleston? Okay.
Yeah.
So that being said, the snakes that you have behind you are kept in your house, right?
They are. It's my front office. It's the first thing people see when they come in our house.
Okay, epic. So that means the ambient is at what it is, what you guys are living in, right? So I'm assuming that it's in like the high 60s right now in your house, or what's your common ambient in that room right now?
So this room stays warmer because the wall the wall that you can't see over here is a east facing wall. Okay. So it gets the first bout of sun. It stays warmer in general. I do keep the room warmer, but also like all of these have heat panels. So the room is just naturally warmer. This room is about 75-ish.
Okay.
So I'm not doing.
Can you close it off? Can you close it off from the rest of the house? That room?
I could if I had the doors on, but I don't like doors. So I've just got a retractable gate that keeps the toddler out.
It's amazing how a wall full of cages with heat panels heats up the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You don't realize it. Like, it's a lot of heat.
Better have that shit dialed down, as I've been talking about plenty of times this year. And fuck, man, gotta know how to use those panels. That's for sure.
Yeah, I use this a lot.
Yeah, you really got to. And obviously, everyone's situation as far as having to use the panels is different depending on your room too. Like, how warm is your room and how warm, compared to majority of others and whatnot. So it's a lot of stuff to think about when you do a whole wall like that, for sure. But it seems like
are your babies in the same area?
Yeah, so my baby racks are just sitting over here, and that works out well. We keep our house a little bit on the cooler side, just because we've got dogs, and the toddler, oddly enough, does not like it hot. So we keep things a little bit cooler. So it works really well for them to be in here because the room is a little bit warmer. I also have a rack right now that I'm really not a fan of. I'm headed up to Schaumburg next month, and I'm very excited that Brace is going to be there, so I probably will pick up some new hatchling racks.
What don't you like about the rack? What's wrong with it?
I can't use the top, I can't use the bottom, and I've got one tub that's sacrificed because the heat tape in it is this big. And so and basically in order to get, I've got a probe in the tub, in one of the tubs, because it's the only way that I was getting the temperatures to go up high enough.
Wow. And the hatching preference as far as temps goes is what for you?
For the incubator?
No, for your hatching. Once they're out, like once they're in the hatching rack. I'm sorry. Like
So it's set to 84.
Okay.
It was set to 85, but I noticed that they were all kind of hanging towards the cooler end of the tub. So I lowered it a little bit, and now they're doing a little bit more back and forth.
Okay, cool.
It's got back heat or belly heat or
It's
what?
got belly. I didn't really want that, but the guy forgot until last minute. And at that point, the babies were hatching, and I was like, I need the rack. I don't even care. I'll make belly heat work, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
I haven't had any problems with belly heat for neonates.
I don't like how quickly it dries things out.
Oh, I've definitely
I don't keep over water. I just keep over a damp paper towel.
Yeah.
And I don't like how quickly it dries it out.
Bill, you have wall heat on your racks? I can't remember. Or is it floor heat?
Back heat.
Marshall, you got floor heat, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it depends, but yeah, most of them have floor heat, and then one of them's got back heat. Problem with the floor heat that I've had is that, like, if you snake the heat tape around, from shelf to shelf, you've got one tub on each level that's got 3 sides of heat tape, versus all the other ones just have 2, and that one gets really hot.
Yeah. Now, what's your take, Carly? I know you kind of say you like to put paper towel, but what is it about over water that you don't like to use?
I just think that paper towel is just a little bit more sanitary for my needs, and I have had my clumsy moments, and the more water that there is to splash and make a disaster, that's just the more of a mess I can make.
I don't know why my wife laughs at me. Well, not really sometimes, but I hate fucking dropping water. Like, I don't know what it is, but when I drop water, if I'm working, I'm in the zone, and a bunch of water splashes on the floor, I want to throw whatever water I have in my hand against the fucking wall as hard as I can. I'm working on it, but that's how much it irritates me to drop water on the floor. I know it's quick to clean up, but just to stop in my track what I'm doing to pick up this fucking water on the floor really aggravates me sometimes.
I mean, I don't blame you. I don't like it either, which is why, like, I just use paper towels. I spray morning and night, and just a big deli cup in there.
MJ, you got a short fuse, man.
I know I do. Come on, let's all agree. It used to be a lot shorter. All right, it's grown quite a bit, but it's not that big still.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, but the thing is, I think it all has to really depend on if you're having any issues with sheds and stuff like that. The only time I've noticed that overwater is, like, for sure my go-to is keeping young emeralds. Like either basins or northerns. I ran into, like, problems of them not shitting, or for sure not shedding over paper towels, even with me soaking it. So I noticed, for me, as far as we emeralds go, like, I will always put them over water for, like, a first part of their time. But I'm also cleaning that water every day, and it is definitely a sanitary thing for sure. But I mean, because Marshall, you for sure keep your baby emeralds over water, right? At least for the first part of their lives, because that humidity is so important, right?
Yeah, emeralds and chondros.
The
emeralds seem to be a little easier, but yeah, the cat's a shitload of work. Like, sometimes I'm dumping the water and scrubbing them twice a day.
Yeah, you got to change that water damn near every day.
Yeah.
So,
Bill, you're straight over water, or you paper towel? I forget.
Over water, but I transition them out as quick as possible. And that's usually when they're eating, consistently and have good sheds. I get them on paper towel.
Nice.
But, yeah.
I didn't really ask you either, and this is gonna be a wrap-up topic for me, and then we'll get to Marshall's and Bill's wrap-up question, and then we'll do some hot seat questions for you, Carly. But I know you're not really big on food cycling. You do very minimal when it comes to that. But what cycling do you believe in the most? Like, do you have any cycling that you feel like is like very important to going into any breeding season for you that you like to talk about?
So I did, like I said, I can't really say that I food cycled. I just fed a lot heavier in that third month because I cycle for 3 months. I do drop temperatures down. So I do temperature cycle, and then I will change the light cycle within the cages. And I kind of start, I'll shut the light out that's in my office, actually coming in from the windows. So I'll light cycle. So mostly it's light and it's food cycling. The only other thing that I do is that third month when I start feeding really heavy, I also start misting really heavy. Just kind of to, because there are some studies for that species that it does start to, when it comes into the breeding seasons and whatnot, it's very wet. It's very rainy. So the ones that I will be breeding, I start misting.
Awesome. And again, so this year, for instance, right, you're going to be pairing what time of the year this year? Like, when's going to be your next pairing?
So I actually just started dropping down one of the Beox and then 2 of the boys. I just started the drop down. I don't know if it will be successful because it's the middle of summer.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know if it'll be successful. Over the next 3 months, I'm going to drop them down in their nighttime low. And that's just because I have 3 that I want to do this year. Or I'm going to attempt. I have 3 pairings I'm going to attempt this year. And I would love for them not to be 10 days apart because that was less than ideal for the first go around for them to all be 10 days apart. Because I only had 1 incubator at the time.
Yeah.
And that was hard. I was worried about the first clutch getting too hot while I also didn't want to get the second clutch, drop down too soon. So we'll see if that works. I'm concerned about my.
Are you able to temperature cycle them on that wall that's behind you? I guess you have individual control of every cage.
I do.
Every probe in every cage. Okay.
That's a must with a wall like that. I'm just telling you right now, everything needs its individual probe for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you're gonna learn the hard way. That's for damn.
And I haven't had any issues. MJ, I know me and you talked about because I was worried. I hadn't even thought about it until you said something about the middle cages getting hotter, and they still. I mean, I've been checking the snakes, and they're still regulating at the same temperature. So
that's great.
We'll see if it drops down. I don't know if I'm just going to have to drop everybody down at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a good test to find out.
It is. We'll see.
Yeah. But like, before we get to Marshall and Bill's, but as far as like, let's say that nothing goes for you. At what time of the year do you like to pair up again? Like when's going to be like, for instance, the females already went for you last time. So they're going to be paired around the same time coming this year.
I did like November. I am going to try to hit hurricane season. I'm hopeful that might bring about some pairings.
Right.
But even when I tried that in the past, they still didn't go until it started cooling off outside. So
awesome.
We'll see. I'm going to give it a try. No harm, no foul if it takes longer. But we'll see.
Only way to find out is you put on that white coat, you button it up, get your fucking pen and pencil, and you get to work. You know what I mean?
Yes, except we're not doing science experiments at home.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were a biochemist. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not. I'm a real biologist.
Wow, I love that.
Real biology.
I'm a real biologist.
Not fake.
I get all of my permits.
My girl.
Yeah, I love it. All right, who wants to go next? Marshall or Bill?
I'll go because Marshall always goes.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions. What's the lowest temperature that you would cycle? Like if you're trying to get a pair to go, what's the lowest temperature you would go? And secondly, would you ever try to pair one male with multiple females? And if so, how would you do it?
So I have got what I did last year was I dropped it down to 74 for the nighttime.
Wow. That's not much of a drop.
It worked for me. But I also, I mean, I still had these cages stacked. They weren't the same cages, but I still had them stacked. So I did struggle to get it down just to 74. We've been toying with the idea of putting like a small AC unit in the room, just for the intention of dropping things down. So I did 74. I'm aiming for 72 this year. So we'll see what difference that makes. And see if that makes a difference. They are all on a nighttime drop to 78 currently.
Okay.
So I do a 78 all year round. So the goal is 72 this year, but I did 74 in the past. As far as multiple males, I do have, so I have the plans for 3 females, bounce between 2 males this year. I'm probably going to go with the love male because I know that he will breed, and he, from what I have seen him do, he locks and then he moves away. Like he locks and then he goes and he does his own thing. And then I commonly have to take him out, put him back in, and he'll lock and then move away. So I'm hopeful. I don't want to do it at the same time. I'm hoping he'll just breed one, get it done, and then move on to the second one.
Okay. Yeah,
I haven't had that happen yet. I mean, I would love some pointers on the best way to do that.
You know, I go male, female. I mean, back and forth. I don't wait for the female to get it done. I mean,
Bill plays musical chairs.
You just put them in there for like a week and then move on to another one.
When they get a lock, you take them out, you rest them for a few days or whatever, and then back to the different female.
I think
that's what I do too.
I think that resting period is definitely important. I talked to Patrick about this before because I have a sarong male who's like really beautiful and like and only goes to town at a certain time of the year. And once that time changes, he stops fucking breeding for whatever the case is. And I just put him to the wrong females this year because they were either weren't ready or whatever the case was. But I noticed that there are other males I've had that kind of showed signs of not wanting to breed. And I gave them, not only a meal, but maybe a couple extra weeks to just chill, put them back in, and then they're like a whole nother male again. So, but for instance, Bill, you're saying that you've had incidents where the male and female did nothing, and then the male just went to town on the next female you put it in, right? Like straight to the next female.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait for that male and female pair to get it done because they may never get it done.
True.
I would move that male to a different female, and maybe they're going to get it done.
So you give them like a week, right, Bill, to see if any action, no action, then you move on, right?
Yeah, I mean, a week's fine, 5 days, a week. I just wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket and wait until I'm gonna pair this male with this female until she ovulates because she may never ovulate.
Yeah.
Now, how long do you toggle them back and forth though? Like, how long do you do?
Right.
Female break, female break, female break.
Well, I'm pretty much a week on and a week off.
But I mean, like, do you do that do you continue that for months on end, or at some point do you stop?
Months on end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see any locks, is that you're seeing locks the whole time?
Well, most of the time, you're seeing locks.
But even seeing locks doesn't mean shit. Like, oh my god, I had
locks locks don't mean shit.
I had the dirtiest pair of BX that I've had paired up since November, and the male has been locking her. Like, I had to remove him because I'm like, bro, ain't nothing happening. And even removing him the night before, he was all over doing his thing. For whatever reason, he just liked her, but nothing ever fucking happened. And I don't want to say I wasted all those months because, I mean, that was a pairing I was really shooting for. Like, I'd rather wait to see what would happen. But man, we're talking 8 months of being together, nothing. All these locks, bro. Almost every month a lock, and nothing happened.
Listen, like I told Carly, I've stopped breeding a pair that I quit recording the number of locks.
Yeah, me too.
Literally, after 20, I stopped recording them because they paired for 5 months, like every week for 5 months, and finally, I'm just fuck it.
What a tease.
Done. I'll wait till this next winter. Try again.
Yeah. So, by the way, any rookies out there, stop getting excited over locks. Relax. They don't need shit. All right, Marshall. What's your wrap-up question, Marshall?
Let's see. Earlier, you talked about having a partner. Like
Yeah.
what is that? Like, how is that set up? Is your collection the whole thing, or you guys just share some animals, or what?
So collectively, I've got some of my animals are at her house, and she's got some of her animals here. She does more. The idea that we kind of wanted was we both kind of wanted to be involved in the higher end stuff, and we both kind of wanted to be involved in the locality stuff. So while no, I'm not doing any locality stuff here, I do have locality animals at her house. And she's doing those, there, so that we're kind of dabbling in a little bit of everything, and we'll move stuff around based on how it works for certain plans. Collectively, we're both just really bad influences on each other. It's like, hey, did you see that so-and-so posted an animal for sale? And it's like, oh, we should get it. We're both collectively really bad influences. So that's a big thing. Ultimately, she is my absolute best friend. So we talk every day. We share problems. We troubleshoot things together. I just recently was out in Colorado to see her. She comes down to Daytona. We go to Daytona and we do the shows together. And it's mostly this started in friendship, but we also have things that we're really clear of how we're doing things and how we're handling things. But we make a good team.
So
not everything that we do. So like she obviously has, I am not a fan of Aru. It's just not.
Wow, dude. Aru's
not my thing.
I hope Ryan Young is asleep right now.
I know.
No way he's asleep.
Ryan Latimer's punching the air right now. He can't believe you just said
No, he likes me too much to be mad at me for that. But I am not a massive Aru fan.
This is the best line of the night.
I'm so sorry. They're just not my thing.
Fuck you, Ryan.
They're just not my thing.
that was great.
So she has her own projects. I have my own projects. But collectively we like to get into stuff together. And it was really helpful when we were starting, things out before we really dove deep into spending the money, because it was just very helpful for us to have someone to lean on and to collectively get in trouble with. And now she's getting into the basins too. So we're just going to keep with the bad influencing.
But Carly, you will be in Daytona.
I will. We will be in Daytona. I am trying my hardest to come in September to Texas.
Please do. Oh my God.
I am trying.
The epic.
Yes, I am trying. But we are also going to Tinley in October. So it's a little bit of traveling.
So, all right. So Marshall and MJ, I think it will be in Tinley in October.
You know what's crazy? I just found out that I won't be going to Tinley this October because my second knee surgery is literally the week after I go to your house for your show for the NARBC.
Okay.
And the reason why I pushed it back the week right after so I could make it to, you know what? I don't want to give the special event that I'm attending in November. So, but
we can push you in a wheelchair. Somebody's willing to push you in a wheelchair.
I know. I just honestly like it's gonna be a while before I go to Tinley again. Unfortunately, I thought this was gonna be like my send off, but I'm gonna pull a bar check and probably not go to a Tinley for like 10 years.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Are you going to Tinley, Bill?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. You're going, right?
I mean, I have a room. Yeah.
All right. So you're going.
One would assume that you're going then if you've got a room.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about maybe calling an audible and going to Dallas in September instead.
That's listen, Bill makes all that place worth it. That's why I'm going to Bill. That's why
Daytona in August. I'll be obviously here at my party in September, and then I'll be at Tinley in October.
Hey, Bill, Bill, you don't like staying at the hotel at Tinley, do you? You like staying off the hotel, don't you?
No, I would prefer to stay at the
Okay,
hotel.
I'll give you my room. I'll talk to Bob of transferring the room to you. So now
Okay.
you got a room for Tinley.
All right, perfect.
All right. Well, sweet.
And Carly's going to be at the same events.
Yes, I will be
I'm
there.
looking forward to meeting you at Daytona. Well, yeah, shit. If anything, I'll meet you at Daytona before Bill's because Daytona's in August, and I
That
can't
is
wait.
how the calendar goes.
Dude, I cannot wait. I've been waiting for Daytona for years. This is going to be epic, and I'm
It's
excited.
fun.
Have you never been?
No, dude. Every chance I go to Daytona, something bad happens.
I've never been either. This will be my first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Should be one for the books. We got to get you to a West Coast show too, Carly. That's for sure. We got to get you to a Reptile Super Show.
I am not against it. I've never been West Coast with the exclusion of like I went to Colorado to help.
But you never been to Cali? You never been to San Diego or anything? You never been over here? Wow.
No.
Okay, we got to change that.
I'm an East Coast, South kind of girl. I've
Day by
never
day.
been to the West Coast.
Day by day. All right. Well, listen, this was a great episode. 2 hours went by quick. We do have hot seat questions for you, and then we'll send you off on your way. Okay. Are you cool with that?
Yes. Let's do
All
it.
right. Appreciate all the love and support for Carly, guys. Get the likes up. It is hot seat questions. And then in fashion, Marshall, Bill will hit you with their hot seat. Faster the better. That's how it works. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Hot seat questions coming in hot. Here we go. Frozen thought or live?
Frozen thawed.
First thing you would feed a new arrived subadult green tree python.
How big is it?
Let's just say 2 years old, and it's not that big.
A large adult mouse.
Perfect. 8 cut or no cut?
What? Oh, egg cut. When I see scratches.
Okay. Red Chondro Neo or yellow Chondro Neo?
Both.
You can't. Have to pick one. It's one or the other. That's how this works.
Red.
Okay. Pre-first shed meal or post-first shed meal?
Post.
Yay imports or boo imports?
Yay imports. I've got a good vet and I know what I'm doing.
One locality green tree python you would love to import to your collection anywhere, any locality it could possibly be. What would it be?
Sarong.
Wow, respect. To spray or mist a chondro or emerald, or to never spray and mist a chondro or emerald?
Depends on the occasion. I do mist.
Yay sports or boo sports, Carly?
Yay sports. I'm in the South.
Favorite sport?
Football.
Favorite football team of all time?
Clemson.
Wow, are you college? I
Ooh.
love that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh,
Nice.
ouch.
Don't lie on this one either, okay? Because I have a feeling.
You'll never get a Marshall animal, but that's okay.
Here we go. Big flexor or no flexor? Don't fucking lie to me, Carly.
No fucking lie. MJL, no.
You may not be. It doesn't have to be intentional, but come on, let's be real. Are you a big flexor or are you no flexor?
Big flexor.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Yay alcohol or boo alcohol? Not that I.
Wine.
That's it. That's your go-to wine.
Wine.
Okay. Yay red wine or boo red wine?
I don't like red wine. No, boo.
Dude, I can't do white. I'm not gonna lie. Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Van Halen.
All right. West Coast rapper.
Has anybody ever said Sammy Hagar?
Yes, they have. I
Really?
thought too. Yes. I don't want to name drop him, but I feel bad. West Coast rapper, East Coast rap.
East Coast.
Favorite East Coast rapper or group of all time?
I don't know enough to tell you that. I'm sorry.
Come on, Carly, give me something from the 90s or
I
something.
don't have anything.
Do you know? You don't know anything. You can't think of one rapper? Not one?
Listen, I'm pulling the brain surgery card.
Cardi B? Like, you just say whatever, dude. I
I'm
don't
pulling
mind.
the brain surgery
All
card.
right. All right. I'm going to give you, okay. Since you did that, I don't want to get attacked. So I'm going to go ahead and let that, all right. You went on that one. Little word association. Say the first thing to come to mind. First time chondro breeder.
Morph market, terrible import.
Substrate.
Puppy pads.
Stuck shed.
Soak.
FedEx shipping.
It's shit right now.
Favorite chondro breeder on the East Coast.
On the East Coast?
Yes.
Christian.
Christian.
Milk.
Whole milk.
Instagram trolls.
Well, I don't know. I've sure blocked several of old Brucey boys.
Wow, dude. Give me the letter. Give me the letter. Give me the letter. All right. Last but not least, before we get to Bill's and Marshall's, coolest reptile network in the world.
GTP Radio.
Oh, fucking cheat.
GTP
Bill.
Radio.
Wow, let her speak. She wanted to say it and then you fucked it up, Bill.
Listen, I am loyal to the bar room, but I am loyal to Trap Talk. Okay, I love them both.
You can do both.
It's not how it works. It's
How it works.
It's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the coolest reptile network in the world. I'm not saying the number one. I'm saying the coolest reptile network in the world. What's the first thing to come to mind? Let's keep it 100 here, please. God damn it.
We'll give you Trap Talk.
Thank you. All right, Bill, Marshall, go first or go next. Whoever wants to go next.
First of all, MJ, you took my question because I was going to say red wine, white wine, or bubbly. So I guess we've narrowed it down between white wine and bubbly.
White wine.
She's a white wine girl, bro.
I'm a Sauvignon Blanc kind of person.
Damn.
Blanc.
She watches a lot of Bravo. I guarantee it.
I do not.
I'll have some here in September.
Oh, perfect.
All right, Marshall, go.
So we know it's not rap. Favorite genre of music?
Okay.
Y'all, I was raised in Arkansas. It's hard on that one. It's country. Don't hate me for it.
I love country sometimes. Depends. But
You don't love country.
I don't mind it, some of it. Like I'm a huge Kenny Chesney fan. I will say I do like Kenny Chesney, but that's about it. Don't look at me like that, Bill. Quit judging me, man. No, listen, Carly, amazing episode. This has been an honor to have you on and just kind of get to know you more, but more importantly, to see your passion and where you're headed with all the projects that you have going on. We had just shy of 100 people tapped in on tonight's episode. So what do you want to say that all the love and support you had on tonight's show, all the live chats that were going off earlier for you? What do you have to say to all the support?
Thank you. It really warms my heart and I love it. And I'm so grateful for all of it.
Awesome. So for people to follow everything that you have going on Instagram, you're most active, or because you're on Facebook too. I noticed that you don't favorite. You do both. So where can people follow you to stay on top of all your stuff? You prefer Instagram or Facebook or both?
Probably Instagram. I don't prefer people on my personal Facebook, but I do have a Facebook for my page. But definitely, I post most frequently to Instagram or to the Green Tree, the Facebook groups.
Epic. I'm going to put your link to your Instagram account in the description below. So guys, please go give her a follow. But first and foremost, give it up. It's a wrap for Carly, Coastal Morelia. Ladies and gentlemen. Go Carly! Women power! Woo! Hey, have a good night, Carly. Thank you so much for
See you,
hanging out.
Carly.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Carly, now I get to critique your interview. So
yeah, hang tight if you want to hear Bill talk shit. Hey, hang tight if you want to hear Bill talk shit about you.
Oh, sounds good.
get your attorney ready.
God damn, full of shit, right, guys?
God, terrible. What the fuck?
Women power my ass. I'm just kidding. No, that was a joke. No, dude, that was great and refreshing, because like I said, we legit don't ever bring girls on here, man. Not that I don't want to, but let's be real, man. Like there's not too many of them doing it like this girl,
Yeah, definitely.
But like you said, there's like a lot of up and comers, people that a year from now, 2 years from now, they're going to be throwing out their clutches. So
definitely a matter of time, which is exciting to see. But what would you have to say overall? How'd you feel about tonight's show, Marshall?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
She's obviously got her shit together and impressive resume with the biology and fish and everything else.
And Bill, she's on your bumper. She wants a biscuit production, and I'm sure she's not the only one. But do you ever feel kind of pressured at all when people are asking you about a certain snake and it's not, or because you don't do wait lists, do you, Bill? For the last time I checked, you don't do wait lists, right?
I mean, I do once the eggs are on the ground.
Right.
But no, I don't feel any pressure. I think like Marshall said, she has her shit together.
Yep.
Here's what she wants. She's not afraid to go out and get it. Doing it right. Like, a lot of our guests, get good animals from good people, start them early, get them in your collection. That's your best formula for success,
Yeah. Also too, she gave props to the, her friend that is doing things hand in hand with her as well. Like, it's awesome when you have that kind of a support system. So, either way, I feel like when things are meant for you and you're meant to do this shit, stars will align. Either you'll have good mentorship or just crazy fucking luck, or both. I don't know, but
it's good to have both. It's good to have both.
It is. It's good to have both. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not common.
It's not common.
Usually luck comes after getting your fucking balls or your fucking head knocked on the wall a few times, and then
no doubt about it, man.
Here's a little bit of luck. You know what I mean?
She's going to pay her dues, and she knows it. That's a good thing. She's been blessed, and she's thankful, but she knows she's going to pay her dues.
Good crowd. Yeah, she is for sure, 100%. But yeah, good crowd tonight, fellas. Just shy of 100 people. Marshall, what do you have to say? All love and support we had on tonight's show.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Happy to be here.
MJ.
Yes.
I will be gone the next 2 weeks. I'll be in Scotland. Hey, I'm going to hang out with our bro Sal.
Shout out to Sal, man. UK player out there. Hey, Sal, take care of our boy Bill. He's we're relying on you to take care of him out there.
He's going to drive from London up to Edinburgh, and we're going to hang out for a couple of days. And so I was looking at the timing about maybe I'll get on, on a Tuesday, but it's like 3 a.m. over there.
No, dude, you go enjoy yourself, bro. I mean, at this point, why not? I mean, how many vacations, Marshall, does Bill get anyways?
I mean, it's like at least 2 a month, I think.
But
hey, only one more episode till Trap Fest.
Yeah, but then we're actually taking a 2-week break anyway. So after next Tuesday, the network itself, 2-week break, because I want to concentrate on Trap Fest, and I think it's 4th of July the week after that. I want to spend some time with my family and whatnot, and then we're going to come back hard. So don't worry. Once you enjoy your break, Bill, because once we get your ass back here, the lineup that I have, the people that we're bringing on this show, it's going to be fucking heavy. Best believe it. So
I'm ready.
All right, listen.
Ready.
Guys, do me a favor. Go follow these two gentlemen if you're not already. I don't know why you wouldn't be, but Red Mountain Herps on Instagram and Phoenix Reptiles. Give it up, Marshall and Bill. It's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
See you guys.
Have a good
night.
See you
guys next time.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few, man. Take care. Peace. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everyone who tapped in. I really appreciate all the love in the chats for Carly. You know what I mean? Awesome female reptile chondro breeder. Any female keepers out there that I'm sleeping on, please come hit me up. All right. If you are a female chondro keeper, a boreal keeper, and you're like, God damn it, MJ, you're not noticing me, hit me up, please. I want to give a lot more recognition to all the females out there. And I do know there's female keepers out there who are just on the up and coming. So keep doing your thing. All right. And again, shout out to anyone out there who tapped in for the first time. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Guess what? Tomorrow, Cush's Corner, we are bringing Dan Natush back. Okay. Daniel Natush from Australia is coming back to talk about scrub pythons in the wild. It's going to be epic. 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time right here on the Trap Talk Reptile Network. Coolest reptile network in the world. And that's a fact. Also, don't forget, if you're looking for exclusive content, first link in description below. Please come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Come get more behind the scenes. Tap into the Discord, the Instagram group chat. So much stuff popping. And I appreciate all my Patreon members. Love you guys. All the trappers, man. Anyone watch this, anyone who supports this just by watching really means a lot. Thank you so much. Motivates me. I do want to say, before I let you go, forgot to give shout out and props to my man, Ryan Young, for marking the 37th species of pythons to be bred under his facility. Shout out to Ryan Young, the real GOAT in the breeding in the python game. So congratulations. Pop one. Apadora python. He just had hatched out, and I think that was amazing, man. Super, super heavy goals. But anyways, have a good night. Episode 508 in the books. See you guys here tomorrow. Cush's Corner, and I'm out. Cheers.